Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv.
In 2015, whilst some section of Nigerians were busy celebrating their Messiah, the president-elect, in the person of Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, some so-called elites, they come in form of political appointees, politicians, and business people. They were busy cutting away looted funds. Business was so good from 2011 to 2015. In fact, it was reported that a certain minister allegedly took bribes of over $300,000 per oil deal. And the lies surrounding this is that it was going to be used to sponsor the re-election of the then incumbent president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Now, whilst all of this was going on, those that were close to the corridor of power took turns in looting the economy in various forms. They had so much money that they could afford to buy 20, 40, 50 houses in choice locations all over Nigeria. Some of them who wanted to go extra traveled abroad and they purchased properties in choice areas. And those who wanted to go a step further purchased foreign citizenship alongside those properties. A certain oil and aviation mogul was able to splurge over $70 million in a single purchase of expensive choice properties all over the United States of America, such as Beverly Hills, Santa Barbara, 3 private jets, 58 luxury automobiles, 137 apartments, houses, office spaces all over Nigeria. Of course, in choice location. And not just that alone, plots of land in Canada and in Switzerland. And to top the icing, the infamous Galactica Star, a very sophisticated, humongous yacht, and it is valued at $18 million by the United States Justice Department. Now, the burden of repatriating this loot became easier when the United States of America of reporting and tracking onshore and offshore corruption. Now, people who had information as regards corruption in the United States jurisdiction or proceeds of corruption laundered through the United States can simply log into the website and report. Thereabout, a league of international investigative journalists released to the world about 11.5 million data that is now known as the Panama Papers. In this, you will find politicians, private individuals, clerics, business people, and of course, drug lords and barons. And the information found in this leak and also information obtained from the FBI further illuminated the activities of former Petroleum Minister Alison Diezani rampage. This rampage of former petroleum minister is said to have cost Nigeria $28 billion loss and still counting. Sit tight, as this is going to be explosive. Mysteries will be demystified. It all started when a German journalist called Bastian Obermeyer was contacted anonymously by a firm in Panama, and he was offered loads and tons of classified secret documents. The Panama firm is called Mossack Fonseca. Sometimes early 2015, these German journalists had access to loads and tons, like I said, of data of very powerful, rich people, such as their offshore accounts in tax havens and many other private information. Now, back to Nigeria. Alison Madueke used to be one of the most powerful people in government, as she heads a very sensitive position, which is oil and petroleum minister. She has been accused severally of enriching herself, friends, families, and whoever she chooses to do whatever business with. Now, the Panama Papers actually shed more light on what people have been thinking, that Alison Madueke and her allies had been able to create shell companies and offshore accounts where the loot from the country, Nigeria, goes to, which was made possible by this Panamanian firm called Mossack Fonseca. Now, this allegedly is one of those schemes to launder money, proceeds of corruption, loot. Now, the two associates of Madueke were accused of using their position to get and secure contracts with NNPC, and the proceeds of this are siphoned outside of Nigeria. One of the many cases that came up is the super yacht called Galactica. Like I said initially, Galactica is estimated to cost $80 million. In fact, one of the United States' popular entertainer, Beyonce, and her husband were said to have rented this yacht at $900,000 per week. Alison Madueke at one time hid herself in the United Kingdom, and one would wonder why the government of the United Kingdom refused to send her back to Nigeria. All efforts by the Nigerian government to extradite Alison Diezani Madueke proved abortive. She later accused the government of witch hunting her. She said she was being persecuted, but the information gotten from the Panama paper showed that Alison Madueke was simply enriching herself and actually creating a generational wealth for herself, children, and great-grandchildren, and of course, those unborn. Now, before the Panama Papers exposed Alison Madueke, she had come under scrutiny in 2009 when the Senate indicted her of corrupt practices and also recommended her prosecution and, of course, dismissal for transferring 1.2 billion naira into a toll company's private account without following due process. Now, former Governor of Central Bank, Sanusi Lamido, also in 2014 revealed certain missing funds in the Federation account. Now, according to the report, under the watch of Alison Madueke as the boss of NNPC, $20.4 billion were never remitted into the Federation account. And this is just between 2012 and 2013. Afterwards, Sanusi was fired, and he claimed that this happened because he revealed all of this. Alison Madueke denied all of the allegations, and she said that Sanusi Lamido came hard at her in retaliation for her not supporting his nomination as president of the African Development Bank. EFCC, the Nigerian Anti-Corruption Institution, has been investigating Alison Madueke and, of course, are allies such as Jide Omokore and Kola Aloko. Now, the Panama paper showed clearly how the trio were able to siphon money from Nigeria into various offshore accounts using the Panama firm called Mossack Fonseca. This firm enables criminals, looters, and anyone who wants to hide money offshore to be able to do this without being found out. They simply help you launder money. The Panama Paper Leak brought to fore the global international web of deceit, corruption, and criminality of bogus firms such as Mossack Fonseca with branches across the world. This firm has long been accused of facilitating money laundering, tax evasion, and many other illegal activities for its clients. And this includes several African politicians and, of course, Nigerian oil ministers. Now, according to the investigation brought to light by the League of International Investigative Journalists, it is said that this firm, Mossack Fonseca, had helped launder for 3 oil ministers in Nigeria who used offshore companies to purchase luxurious boats, houses all over the world. And one of those ministers is Alison Diezani, who has looted millions of dollars from the Nigerian state-owned oil institutions and company, allegedly, during her tenure as petroleum minister. Now, Mossack Fonseca, the Panama firm, claimed in their response and defense that they were simply providing registered agent services for their clients to incorporate companies. But according to leaked internal reports, it shows that business mogul Kola Aloko owned 4 companies registered in the Virgin Islands, a notorious tax haven. Report also showed that this Panama firm, Mossack Fonseca, helped Kola Aloko to incorporate his luxury yachts. Let me break it down. Simply put, his name will not be on the yachts listed directly, but it will be shown to the world as if it does not belong to him. The Galactica Star was finally impounded and forfeited by order from a court due to the allegations and investigations carried out. All of this bordering on corruption, linked to corruption. Now, this Panama firm did not start their illicit business first with Aloko. It has a very lengthy history with Nigerian government officials, even as far back as 2007, when investigation brought to light the involvement of this Fonseca with the likes of former advisor to the then president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, and also former oil minister Dan Etete, who was convicted of money laundering in France. He was also found to have signed a consulting agreement with an offshore account and company created by Mossack Fonseca to negotiate the lease of oil blocks to China, a deal that flopped. Now, despite all of this mounting allegation and investigation being carried out, Mossack Fonseca continued in their operations, services to their Nigerian customers, not until June 2015, when it received a demand from the Virgin Island Financial Investigation Agency to produce documents relating to one of Aloko's company they quickly cut off ties with three of Aloko's company. Aloko was not popular on the pages of Nigerian newspaper, neither did a lot of people know who he was, but this is a man who spends lavishly, and I want to believe that more came into his pockets during the tenure of Alison Madueke as the petroleum minister. Kolawole splurged millions in buying choice properties all over the world. In the United States. You might be wondering how he was able to get hold of such amount of money. Well, according to the report, what he did with his associate Olajide Omokri, what they actually do is to pay bribes to Alison, and she will in turn give them lucrative deals in the oil industry. And obviously you know what that means. Kickbacks, and there are some of the contracts that will not be executed. In fact, it's even reported that both of these trio had plans to get Alison properties in the UK using the same criminal pattern. All Alison had to do is to make sure that Aloko gets lucrative contracts awarded to his bogus companies. According to the EFCC, who dragged the three allies to the court, the companies were supposed to finance the exploration, facilitate the production of onshore and offshore oil and gas. But they failed to meet their obligation. The Nigerian government took action against Aloko by freezing his assets in London, in the United States, and of course the infamous yacht Galactica Star, and 120-something houses owned by Aloko. Now let us go to Jide Omokore. He's one of those rich, according to Forbes. He's one of the 10 Nigerian multi-millionaires you have never heard of, and his energy resource group is one of the Nigeria's largest privately held conglomerates. However, despite his immense wealth and power, Omokri has been embroiled in legal controversies, including conspiracy to loot and defraud. Omokri denied all of this allegation, and the legal battle stretched until February 2023. The Nigerian court discharged and acquitted Omokri and two of his firms, Atlantic Energy and Atlantic Drilling. All of the charges were dropped. The court maintained that the EFCC were incapable to prove their submissions to ascertain that he had committed a crime, and that in this, Omokri has no case to answer. But his co-accused, Victor Briggs and Abiye Membre, were found guilty of collecting gifts contrary to the code of conduct guiding public servants in Nigeria. The court in Abuja ruled and passed judgment. They eventually fined Victor Briggs and Abiye Membre were fined 2 million naira. Now, with so much money stashed in offshore accounts, probably in several homes all over the world, Alison Madueke found a way to escape for now by buying herself a diplomatic status in the Dominican Republic. This guarantees her immunity. Like I said at the beginning, a lot has been done to extradite Alison Madueke, but you'll be wondering why this has not happened. Former acting chairman of the EFCC, the Nigerian Anti-Corruption Institution, Ibrahim Magu, faulted the United Kingdom. He said the country is not doing enough to bring Alison Madueke to book.
course, since we say we want her and she's not here, something is wrong somewhere. I think you need to put pressure on the other side to repatriate her and to bring back the loot. More than 80% of the loot recovery outside this country are still hanging. Ask them, why is it hanging?
As far as a monumental fraud of this magnitude has occurred in that ministry, right under her supervision, it is unimaginable for her to remain in office.
Despite his vow to bring Alison Madueke back to Nigeria, he failed. He is not the only one who tried. Assistant Inspector of Police Garuba Baba Umar, the head of National Central Bureau, Interpol, he disclosed that the United Kingdom government turned down his request to extradite Alison Madueke. Why did the United Kingdom refuse the Nigerian government to extradite Alison Madueke? This is still confusing. How was she able to leave the United Kingdom down to the Dominican Republic? Now, with the exposure of Mossack Fonseca, well, they closed office, but you know how it works. Probably they could or might have opened shop somewhere else, and they might probably have some other firms that they operate. What are your thoughts as regards this one? We still have all of this happening in our world, and particularly in Nigeria. The reason I brought this up is because soon this regime of Major General Muhammadu Buhari is coming to an end. You might want to call it government of Buhari is coming to an end, and the same will be done before the end of his tenure. There are people who will be packing their bags, ready to take what they have stolen, loot somewhere to hide. Like and share, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel, and if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.